Right, I'm recording from now on.
Okay, mate. Sit down.
Yeah.
I suppose if people come in and they talk, does it make a difference?
No, not at all, not at all. Background is good. So, where are we, John? And what is this place?
This place is Artifacts, coffee and culture. So we're on Lever Lane, and Lever Lane runs parallel to Hatton Garden, and we're in EC1.
So this is like a historic part of the town. Hatton Garden always got the jewellery and the gold.
Yep.
Leather Lane.
Lever Lane's historically always been a market. Now, don't quote me on this, but this I believe is true, that after the Great Fire of London, 1666, that's right, isn't it?
Sounds good.
Right. They moved a lot of this. It was a lot of that particular area when it was being burnt down. They moved to this area because I believe this was kind of a bit of a slum area.
Okay.
And the people who were working in around Pudding Lane and that down there, they came and set up a market here, and it's been here ever since then.
That's a long history.
Long history.
Long history.
This building probably is at least a couple of 100 years old, I'd say. I mean, if you go downstairs, it's a real cool, old building.
Does it make a difference to you to have a physical history around you? Like, could you be in a market anywhere and you wouldn't be bothered where you were? Does it feed into you?
I mean, I used to I went to college around the corner at the Barbican, and I used to walk up to Oxford Street, but walk past Lever Lane every couple of days really. And I used to always come in onto Lever Lane, and I've worked Lever Lane a little bit as well as I was a market trader for a bit. It didn't make a difference to me in terms of I've got to go to Lever Lane because of the history or anything, but I knew how busy the market was, and it was always one of the best markets in London. Hence why I thought, right, if you've got footfall, you can make it work there.
It is busy. Could we just go stand at the door so people can hear what's going on? So we've got a street. It's kind of wrapping up, but there's a big food market here, which brings it alive at lunchtime.
It does, but Lever Lane wasn't always a food market. It used to be a normal market. You could buy jackets, t-shirts, fruit and veg. You would get shoes, bags. You could get absolutely anything you would find on a normal market. You'd find on Lever Lane, and it's changed. It's definitely has changed, and that was a lot with COVID. Has changed the whole demographic of what was going on. Because during COVID, obviously market traders couldn't trade. I believe that it was they got a lot of food in because obviously you could trade food at that point in time. And the other market traders that haven't come back.
What's your view of change in this area in general? Are you someone who's like, it happens and you shrug, or are you someone like, things ain't what they used to be, and it used to have a bit more heart and soul?
Well, I mean, it definitely did used to have a different demographic that was here. London's changed, and this was a very, very different demographic than what's here now. You had the local community shopping in the market.
For their daily goods.
And then you also had people. London's a busy, vibrant city, and if you worked in the area, you would come to the market because you was going to get something from the market.
Is this when you worked on it?
When I worked, but this was like 25 years ago.
What was the store?
Maybe, actually, probably about 27 years ago.
What was your store?
Clothing,
right.
Yeah. And
so you stayed true to that.
I've always done clothing, yeah. Right. But what the market is now is literally people coming for their lunch. I've got a couple of mates who's got a sock store up there, and another one who's got a ladies' wear store. Now, it's difficult for them. It's very difficult for them because they're the only two on the market. And to be honest with you, it doesn't work. It's not busy like it was. But unless you've got, I mean, a lot of people complain about the food market being it. But if you haven't got the food market here, there's nothing.
Got you.
You're here on a Saturday and Sunday, and it's brown bread. There's no one here at all. It's a ghost town.
Got you.
So
the thing that what the food market does bring in, and I've seen this with a couple of other ones in central London, is it brings in the office workers, and they're all of a certain type and a certain kind of dress a certain way, and then they're here and then they're gone, and it's a very temporary thing. So there's kind of they just come and take it and eat back at their offices or where
they're not really loyal to you. You know, there was once upon a time where Danny will tell you he's got the same. He's been here for 40 years. He's a really good bloke for you to speak to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. He'll tell you that he's had the same punters for 40 years coming back to him because they'll be very loyal to him, and they buy all their socks boxers and everything off him. That, you know, they're not here no more, that punter. The punter who's coming in now is coming here for food. You know, they're in and out. It's convenience for them. It's convenience, it's hot food, you know. They're not coming here because they particularly like anything that you're doing. They just want to, they're going to get their grub as quickly as possible, you know. Yeah. And that's what it is. The portion size here is massive for your money, and that's what's happened.
We're standing outside your shop. It's called The Artifacts.
Yep.
ARTI fact. I thought it was an art shop when I saw it.
I mean, if I'm honest with you, it seriously confuses a lot of people. So we've had websites for like 15 years, and this is a concept store for what we're trying to open up a lot of these particular stores with coffee and clothing. But it throws a lot of people off because we've got, you know, old tellies in the window. Nice. We've got old ghetto blasters. We've got some really cool stuff.
And you got like a keyboard up. And this is like t-shirts, jackets, high-end stuff. So the prices are kind of like this is not bargain basement.
No, this is not bargain basement. So we've got accounts with every brand that we sell.
Okay, what does that mean?
So if we've got a brand like Penfield, we buy directly from the brand.
Yeah.
We've got Huskies, we've got Brixton, we've got Parlay, we've got Diodora, Fila, Sergio Tacchini. We've got a certain look going on. Peaceful Hooligan. We've got a certain look going on.
Peaceful Hooligan, what a great name.
Great name, yeah. We've got a certain look going on. We've got a certain vibe going on.
Nice. I mean, it's got oak floors. We've got racks and racks of clothes. It's full of stuff. Is there a big turnover of what you do, or do you stick loyal to certain brands?
No, we stick loyal to the we stick loyal to the brands, but we get stock in that not everyone has got. So you can't go into Selfridges or John Lewis. Is that still going? I think it is. Yeah. Still going to John Lewis and find a lot of the brands that we carry because we're buying what we like. So it's a lot of it's curated. My son does the buying.
Right.
He finds the brand. He's 22. He knows what youngsters want to wear. I go along with what he says.
Does he do the buying because you think that you're just slightly out of the right zone?
You know, if you look at what I'm wearing, I like retro products. I like retro.
Dapper,
thank you very much. But I like what I like. So I'm going to buy what I like, and he buys for what other people want to wear. It makes a little bit more sense him buying rather than me.
But if it's brands not off the high street, if it's brands which are like a little bit different, you have to search them out. Then the people who come here like dressing.
Yeah.
You're not getting your average punter. You're getting people who come here who like wearing nice clothes.
Well, firstly, the idea is we give them an aesthetic which they want to walk in because it's intriguing. So they walk in to see, first they want to see the ghetto blasters. We used to have old games machines. The aesthetic is cool.
And it's a retro aesthetic.
It's a retro aesthetic, and hence why it's called Artifacts. And it lends itself to a lot of different genres because it's not aligned with any particular music genre. We like a lot of everything. So the aesthetic's cool, and what we want to do is we want to get you through the door, and we want to get you to be part of our community. And I think
so you've hit on a big button there, community, because lots of people talk about community. You've been on this market for decades.
I've worked on the market years and years ago, and I've come back to this area.
So what? How do you create community? Doing what you do.
I thought it was going to be easier than it is.
So what did you think it was going to be?
I thought I'm going to use coffee as a lure to get people through the door.
And they're going to spend long enough in here with their eyes looking around.
And they're going to like what we're doing. You know, we're an approachable bunch.
Yeah.
We chat to every customer. We want the customers to come buy from us. We want the customers to do all their shopping with us.
Yeah.
Not just their coffee every day.
Yeah.
We want them to come and spend as much time with us as possible.
Yeah.
So we try and create a base where there's something going on all the time.
Yeah.
We had a magician down on Saturday. We've had comedians in. We've had bands in. We've had music. We just give we do a lot to get people through the door and stick with us through the door.
Even in the few minutes I was looking at the clothes, because I was just looking at the clothes as a punter. In the few minutes I was there, people were coming in and out, chatting. There was an entertaining air about this shop.
I think things happen. Yeah, people want to come in to Well, they are part of something that we're growing. You know, we're trying to make a space for people to want to come to on a daily basis.
So you told me about what you thought it was going to be, but what is it? What's it turned into? Has the coffee been the draw?
No,
Right.
it hasn't. And we've teamed up with an award-winning coffee company,
Right.
and we blended our own roast.
Yeah.
So we thought if we give people really good coffee, they're just going to keep coming back to us.
Right.
But you know, the thing is with coffee is it's kind of like a barber shop. Once you found a coffee shop that you like, you keep going back to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what's happened here is we've got one of the best coffee shops in England, or potentially in the world, across the road from us.
No way.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
Who are they?
it's called Proof Rock. It's across the road.
I've never heard of them.
One of the I think he's the biggest coffee influencer in the world.
blimey.
It is, and that's his business.
Oh,
So
that's a stroke of bad luck.
well, it is and it isn't.
Or does he do?
It
He
is and
doesn't do you
No,
coffee.
no, he doesn't do our coffee. No, it is and it isn't. I mean, at the end of the day, we're not competing with them to sell them the most premium coffee that you've got to have a certain palate to be able to drink.
Yeah.
We're trying to give someone a vibe that they want to buy into, and we've got very loyal customers who come to us every day, several times a day.
Is this because they just like to hang out and they like the crack and they like the chat?
They probably
it's
like,
just a place.
It's a spot, but another thing is we've got an absolutely blinding loyalty scheme. So,
Okay.
so that helps.
So there's an incentive.
There's the incentive as well.
Like
so we
what,
give our
like
we
you
give our
get a
first
card or
our
something?
first coffee is £1.
That's very, very cheap.
The 5th coffee is free,
Okay.
and the 10th coffee gets you a free T-shirt, which is one of our bespoke T-shirts, which we change every month.
Blimey, that
so if you
is
feel
good.
it, have a feel of that.
Nice.
Like it's a quality T. Like
Yeah.
So we're not giving someone a Screen Stars, a Gildan T-shirt. We've manufactured our own product
Nice.
because we've got our own brand.
That's
so
interesting.
So we use everything. Every part of it is that the customer comes in. He loves he likes the aesthetic to start off with. He likes the community spot that we've given him. He likes the chat. He likes what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a really good product, and he's got a really good loyalty scheme.
Now, something that you're saying there was a woman that came in.
Lots of them.
There was a lady who came in
Yeah.
when I was just here,
Yeah.
and she came in with a lot of style, and she said, "Where are the women's clothes?" And you said they're sold out.
Yeah.
Is it mainly blokes you're after here, or
I've got to
do
be
you
honest
want
with you.
50% women?
No. Well, I want 50% women to come and buy their coffee for us and hang out and chill out and talk to us. But the honest truth is, the way fashion has gone, a lot of women is wearing fellas' gear.
Okay, that's a
Right,
good point. Yeah, I
a
hadn't even
lot
thought
of
about
women
that.
wear
Ah.
menswear, right? And I've done women's wear, and it is a minefield.
In what sense?
What I think would be a woman would like.
Yes.
I've got stuck with, and I've worked every market you could possibly think of. I've worked everywhere you could, and I've got stuck with more women's gear than I ever have with men's.
Interesting.
It's a different.
So there's more dead ends.
You can get some real smelly numbers when you're buying a load of women's gear. It's really difficult.
So this is not to do with you being a bloke not understanding women's fashion. It doesn't matter whether you, as the person who sell it, is a bloke or a man. It's just women's gear is more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you look at ASOS, and their return rate is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Women spend a lot more money, but women return a lot more stock as well.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the right fit, you've got to have the right cut. It's really difficult. And I'm not a woman, so I'm going to stick to what I know. And women, we've got enough women customers who buy menswear that they wear themselves, and they also buy stuff for their husband, their brother, their son. We're still the spot, and we're still an engaging a space for them to come into. But we just don't sell women's wear. And if you have a look at the shop, it's not big enough to carry any women's wear. We've barely got enough room to cover the brands that we've got. In fact, we've got a lot more on the website than we have got in the store. Mm-hmm. So that's where we are.
So you mentioned going to college around the corner. Did you study? What did you study?
I did. I studied fashion.
Okay.
And I studied women's wear. And I shouldn't have done that because
why not?
Because I'm not a woman, and what I'm trying to make women wear, they wouldn't. I mean, it wasn't for me, if I'm honest with you. I studied in the Barbican at Golden Lane.
And what made you? No, please come in. Do you want to remove it through there?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
What made...
That's all right. Have a look through. If you need a hand, give me a shout, yeah? No problem.
What made you make that first choice about going to, first of all, going to fashion college?
Well, I was always interested in fashion. I was always interested in fashion, but I was not very good at any other academic subjects. I was rubbish at maths, English, science. I weren't interested in them at school, but I was pretty all right at drawing.
Got you.
And I liked fashion.
Right.
And at that point, the clothes show was on telly, and I just kind of fell into it. But at the same time, I was always working in markets. I was always working on clothes stalls on the Saturdays and Sundays, and occasionally some days during the week as well.
So you knew it a little
I knew
bit.
clothing, but really I was just a salesman. Wasn't really too fantastic at doing the designing. I was a pretty all right drawing, but I just didn't like.
And at that point, you're going in. How many of your mates are going into the same industry?
None. Zero. None. Nothing. No, not one of them.
And what did they say to you when you said this is what I'm going to do?
No, I was
Were
I was always telling. Because don't forget, I was at school. I was selling stuff off the market. I was picking stuff up. I was selling stuff to the people at school, my friends at school, and I always had a hand in fashion. It's just that I thought maybe I should go and do this, and I shouldn't have, to be honest with you, because I should have done a business course or something, but I was rubbish at maths and English and whatever, so I kind of just, I just wanted, and at that time, it was like to prolong not really having a proper job. It was like, you know, I went to it because it was an easier move for me, to be honest with you.
How long ago was that?
1998, I went to done my foundation course at London College of Fashion, 98.
And when you were doing that, fashion's totally different back then, although it's kind of coming round back again to the 90s. There's a bit of 90s in what's going on now. I mean, I'm not a fashion person, but you tell me how long it takes for a cycle to come back.
I mean, there's always cycles. In the 90s, the 70s was hot. In 2000s, there was a throwback to the 80s. You know, I mean, it just goes in cycles. And to be fair, fashion now is a bit different because a lot of different genres are mixed up.
So it's a bit pick and mix now.
You can have the old mod scene mixed with the casual scene, which is retro sportswear, and it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And is that a good thing? Because does that, I mean, as someone who's been in industry and studied fashion, do you kind of...
Sorry, a little bit easier for the people who see coming. I don't know what's happening coming.
Do you welcome that pick and mix? I mean, do you like the fact that it's freed it up and there's not one style that's the year, there's not one colour that's the year?
Yeah, I mean, look, I get things wrong every day in fashion. I get things that I think is going to be a winner and it's a stummer and it don't work at all. And hence why I brought my son in to do the buy-in, because hopefully he makes a lot less mistakes than I do, because I get a lot of clearance stocks. It's always there, so it's sitting there all the time. So
you must have given him some tram lines or some guidelines saying, look, these are the basics, just cover these bases, do what you want, but make sure you do X, Y and Z.
Well, do you know what it is? What happened was that one of our websites that we run, he come in, started just learned everything from the kind of, he was picking and packing, and then he got on to answering emails, then he got on to making the website work, and then he got on to social media side of thing, then he got on to doing the buy-in, because I brought him to the meetings, and then he's got a good rapport with a lot of buyers, and a lot of them are younger than me, and to be honest with you, I'm just more confident in him buying than me.
Yeah.
If I'm honest with you, he won't. I will take chances on anything. You could sell me anything at all, and you know.
So there's a bit of a devil may care attitude for it as part of your character. You're like, I'll take a risk. I'll take a risk
on absolutely anything.
That's great.
Right, and
that's never changed. You've never lost.
No,
I've lost so badly.
All I do is get burned. That's the problem. All I do is get burned, left, right, and centre. But he doesn't make as many mistakes in what he's doing as I do. So you know, crack on.
And in the risk taking that you do, I mean, some people are risk averse, some people are not. It's part of your character. It must also give you a certain amount of entertainment to have that risk built into how you see things. It's like, why not?
I don't feel like I don't go to work, do I? It's not coming to work, is it? I come to chat to people all day, and I'm in an industry where I can do what I want when I want. It is what it is, you know. It's second nature. I've always done this. I've not done anything different. I mean, I know nothing about coffee shops. I know nothing about coffee shops at all.
Yeah.
Like zero.
Yeah.
I never knew how to run one.
Yeah.
I think with everything, you know,
it's nice.
If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery, do you?
It's really nice the way you talk about not coming to work, because that's a whole mindset. That's.
I've never gone to work. I've never ever gone to work. I've only ever done what I wanted to do at that point in time. The same thing. Sometimes I've got to be somewhere. Would rather not do it. You know, I'd rather not go and have this meeting, or I'd rather not do. I've done everything you could possibly think of in terms of what jobs wise. But I've never been I've never worked for anyone. I've only ever worked for myself. So
this is your place.
It's mine and my son's.
The responsibility, you've got people who are working. How many people are on your books?
6. Here, we're in the shop.
Yeah.
In the shop 6, and then you've got another 3 at the warehouse.
How much does that responsibility weigh on you? Like, I remember talking to somebody else who ran a clothes shop, and he said, when I wake up every day, I know that my responsibility is to keep them employed and make sure their wages are paid. How much is that part of your thinking?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, everyone gets paid before I get paid, but that's second nature. I've had a business where it's been really successful, and it was the responsibility was much higher, stress was much higher, and at that there was times then it was just websites. I didn't have coffee shops at that point in time, and I didn't enjoy particularly the environment that was, you know, in terms of, but still, I was working for myself. It wasn't I was working for anyone else. So you have to, if you don't like what you're doing, you have to change it. And tweak things that you don't particularly like, and put yourself into a position where you're enjoying it again. Life's short, isn't it?
Life is short. Yeah, life is short. But also, it sounds like you're not you're not one to sit still for a while because you'll want to make a change. Like say you've got this shop to where you want it. You're not going to sit. You're not going to come in for a decade and feel I've got 10 years.
No. Look, I don't know how to make coffee. The reason why I don't know how to make coffee is because I'm the person. If I knew how to make coffee, I will stand there all day making coffee. And if I know, I don't. I need to move on. We need to open another shop. We need to open another shop. We need to keep doing this. Build a model and then make it replicatable. And that's the plan.
And there's always people coming in who want to be part of what you're doing or want to collect. So a gentleman came in and started talking about coming in with his run club and doing something. So you get people who want to, I don't know, tell me about the different kinds of things that happen with this shop. People who just come to you with a suggestion.
I mean, we're in where we are. There's lots going on around the area, and the area is quite a diverse area. You've got different people from all walks of life come into this area. So I think it kind of lends itself that if you're a spot and people come into here, you get to chat into lots and lots of different people. We're on the cusp of Hatton Garden, Hatton Garden's just behind us. So there's people with a lot of money coming to there, trading, doing their thing. And there's a lot of media places around here. So you tend to have a lot of different people coming here, and they kind of walk into the store and you've just got to chat to them and get to know them, and then then when they're in Hatton Garden or around here, this is their spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so they come in out of second nature. You chat to a bit more, then they ask what you're doing, what your plans are. You explain to them, and you ask them the same questions. And I will help anyone, and I'm luckily a lot of people help me as well. So that's the plan. Just keep doing what we're doing. We plan to open. We've offered on one in Oxford Street, just off Oxford Street.
Okay.
In Soho Street, the landlord hasn't gone through with it yet because I think he's got an option that he likes better than what we're offering. But potentially that happens. We've offered on one in Kingston. We're probably going to in March. So we've got a lot to do there. Got one. I'd like to get 4 of these open by the end of the year.
So you call this a concept store, so this is the footprint, and you want to replicate in a way.
Yeah, but what I would do now is I got seduced by what used to be like this street, and also I got seduced by how many people are here at lunchtime.
Yeah.
but it's tough at the weekend. There's not a lot of people here at the weekend, so you've got to start putting on more stuff in the store. It's not organic. You've got to do a lot of advertising. You've got to do events. We do sample sales. We do, as I say, we have magicians down. We have all kinds of things going on all the time to get people through the door.
So you've got to generate. It doesn't just happen.
Not just happen. That doesn't just happen. So you've got. So now I know that, and you know, our ratio is around about 80% clothing to 20% coffee.
Yeah.
So you take them numbers, then you think, right, I'm gonna. If I went to Kingston, hopefully, you're doing 8% of your clothing because you're in a town centre. Yeah. People are shopping there, and same with Oxford Street, and the same with most town centres. But it's got to be the right ratio, and obviously we do a really good loyalty scheme for people. I know if I do the same thing in Kingston, I'm going to get a lot of people coming into it. There's a lot of students, a lot of people, a lot of offices. I can do the same thing there, but I'll have more of a. You've got more time frame to be able to sell it to. You know, this has got 3 hours a day, really 3 days a week. No one comes hardly anyone comes on a Monday, hardly anyone comes on a Friday anymore to the offices. That's a dying thing. So you only got Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and then you've only got 3 hours a day, 11 until 2, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. That's it. They're your trade now, is it?
That's interesting. So the numbers, as you explain it, are quite simple. Once you understand them,
yeah,
and then you're looking at what can I make out of those hours and what can I not make.
Exactly.
Do you see yourself as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, as just a bloke who works in a clothes shop? How do you think of yourself when you wake up in the morning?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, I think I'd like to think I'm an entrepreneur. I mean, I've only ever worked for myself. I've always done things from the bottom. I've been quite successful in some of the stuff I've done. I've been lots less successful in other stuff. And I think
which has taught you more, the success or the not success? What have you learned in terms of the lessons learned? Because there's this general thing that generally you learn from mistakes, but maybe it's not true. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I've gone back and made the same mistakes quite a few times, so that's not. I've got to be honest with that and keep coming to say that. Oh yeah, you learn from your mistakes. I don't tend to. I keep on making the same ones. But certainly from having some success, I've tried to replicate that success and build on it. So I think. What I do know is that if you don't get nothing without putting the hours in and putting the hard work in, and I've always really been able to do that. So I'm not adverse to hard work. I've learned a few skills in the last 10 years that I've transferred. As I say, I used to be a market trader. I'm not really a shy person, so I'm able to talk quite easily. So if I do a shop on Oxford Street, which we've done hundreds in the last 10 years.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. So this is a game that you know in terms of opening shops.
No, I know how to open shops. I don't know how to open. I don't know anything about coffee shops. I know nothing about. I knew nothing about coffee. So that was like we're going to sell really good coffee and people are going to come in for it. That was what I thought. Yeah. But Oxford Street, in between shops shutting, we'd go to agents. Agents would say you've got a 2-week period on a shop there, and we would do it. Go in there and bash it out as a clearance shop, and I'd work the mic. So I'd work the mic to get people through the door.
Okay, so you've got a little speaker and you're trying to get people in by chatting, having good patter,
exactly.
blah, blah, blah,
exactly
blah,
that. And that works. So I know that formula. That works. And certainly on certain periods of time, that even works here to get people through the door.
Yeah.
Out for 2 days out. But the trouble is you go into any town that's not Oxford Street, because Oxford Street you've got tourists.
Yeah.
If you go into a town, you can fill a town up really quickly. So you couldn't replicate what you do on Oxford Street anywhere else but where it is.
Yeah.
And you might be able to do it in Oxford for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, these towns where we've got a lot of tourism, but you'll fill a town up very quickly. So that's not replicatable. Plus, no one's going to do what I'm going to do. Well, there's very few people now that are going to do what I'm going to do.
But also the world you're talking about sort of leases, ducking in for like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you're dealing with a lot of different
it's moving
business
parts in that.
Business people.
Yeah.
Everyone's making a cut. Everyone's looking for the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's a sharp world.
Yeah.
You've got to have your wits about you, I'm assuming. Otherwise, you're just going to lose money.
Yeah.
So you've got to
I've been burnt a million times on doing that as well.
Yeah.
So there's nothing.
Do you have to be hard to do that kind of thing, or can you still remain human and get a good deal?
What do you in terms of what working with the
just making
agents?
little deals with
or the public?
In terms of the buyers of the clothes, in terms of setting up a shop, in terms of making a business decision.
What I do is I become friends with all the brand agents and salesman, don't I? They're going to buy into me, aren't they? So whenever there's an option to sell a parcel of stock, they'll come to me first.
Is that to do with reliability? They can just rely on you.
I'm reliable in clearing the stock.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, in the last couple of years, I've transferred that because I've actually stopped doing these shops on Oxford Street to concentrate on getting this project running properly, which has been difficult because you're used to a lot of money coming through the door when you're working in the West End.
Okay, so you're taking a cut here.
Massive.
That's
enormous
cut.
Enormous to make sure to get it working the way we need to get it working. Look, the brands that you want to work with won't give you the clearance. They're not going to give you clearance.
What do you mean by clearance?
So that they've made.
So you're
500 of.
Okay.
And they've got, and it's a horrible colour. And it's a horrible colour. Yeah, that's a pink top.
Right.
And they want to sell it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to just sell you their clearance. So you've got to take the account.
Right.
Take the account. You've got access.
Oh, clearance as in bargain basement.
Exactly.
Right.
And I've stopped doing the bargain basement stuff in the last couple of years.
And having made that strategic decision, are you like, oh, I could have done this before, or were you like, this is the time? Okay.
No, I should have done it before, but I should have done it 10 years ago. COVID didn't help, to be honest with you. COVID did not help.
No, I'm sure. Any kind of retail.
No, it did not help at all. Online worked during COVID, but it was masking everything up because it's like what it is now. You've got to clear the stock very cheap to be able to turn it over. So you might take a lot of money, but the profit margin there is just non-existent. So there's no point doing it. So I think what's going to happen is the high streets will come back. I'm confident of that. In what shape, I don't know, because they're going to. I think the whole world's going to change quite rapidly in the next few years. But I think if you set up what we're trying to do and have a community-based project, and people like what you're doing, they like you, they support you, which they will do. I know they will. Why would they not? I'm giving them everything they want, and we're likeable people. Why would they not? Why would they not get involved? You've got to be positive.
Is there an objective and a subjective way to judge what you're doing, or do you just go on instinct? Like when you've got this shop to a point where you're like, okay, I think this is where it should be, and I think the signs are good, or do you look down the accounts with the magnifying glass and try and work out numbers?
No, I don't do that because I tell you, it's so volatile out there. Up to Christmas this year was absolutely awful in terms of normal sales, online and in store. Had a lot against you, so you can't look at them numbers and say, right, this is the way it's going to be for the next 3 months, because you don't know. And I'm confident that certain things will change. What happens is you go into periods like this, and then some of the big boys sell up. Some shops that are in your area sell up. Some people who have been in the game for a long period of time, they close down. They've had enough, and there's an angle. There's an option to go in to fill that space. So I don't think you can look at the margins. Oh, we've got to do this. There's certain things you can tweak. Obviously, we know exactly how much coffee you're going to get through. You know exactly how much, of the raw products you're going to get through. You know how much clothes you're going to get through because you can look at it. But I got to a space here now, and I know that I measured the hours more than anything. You can take this much money in these amount of hours. What would happen if you had another? Look, you take 3 hours a day here. What would happen if you had another 4 hours trade? Where is the money coming from in these hours? Then you look at it and you say, right, I don't have no trade on. I had very little trade on a Saturday and Sunday. Whatever trade we do get is because we've pushed it. Yeah, so you will get trade on a Saturday. We don't open on a Sunday. What's the point? Because we're just flogging a dead horse here on a Sunday. But you go into a town centre, you've got Saturday and Sunday trading. How much does that stick on to the end of the year? It puts a lot onto your bottom line. Then you add on the extra hours in the day you're trading, and then you actually add on the amount of people that you can convert back into the website, because that's the whole thing, isn't it? They come into a shop to buy from us, and then they go online and buy from us whatever they want. So if someone comes in here who's from Newcastle, they can buy it from us online. We're catching a lot of people in a lot of different ways.
There's a lot of there's a lot of variation going on. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things in play continuously.
Yes.
They must be in your head.
Yes.
So you must be able to juggle a lot of balls.
Yes.
And kind of make sure that nothing's been dropped along the way.
I mean, I've got help. I've got other staff. I've got staff for that.
Yeah, but if you weren't here, you're the engine, I'm assuming, because this is your creation.
I mean, look, Casey would do that's my son. He'll do his fair share in terms of pushing, making things move forward. He speaks the brands. He's on there. He's on to new people. He's on to new influencers. He's on to new people that he's on for new staff. He's on, he's on top of a lot of things, and I kind of just make sure this one works in a certain way. I've had a lot less. I mean, I speak to affiliates, and I've got a lot less to do now than I have done in the last 5 years, I'd say, because he's come and taken over.
Is this where you want to be? Do you want to step back a little bit? Do you want to have a more relaxed day, or are you still hungry for the next thing, the next big adventure?
I mean, no. I think we're only at the start of it. We've got to get to 50 of these stores. So we're
oh God, you're thinking big.
Yeah,
blimey.
Listen, we've got to do 4 by the end of the year. 4 of these by the end of the year, and then another 6 next year, and then we're starting. We're like baby steps at the moment. But you can't. There's a lot of things that you need to do. You need to work with the right brands. You have to do that. You have to work. You have to give people a good product. You have to. Our manufacturing. We have to be with the right manufacturers. We have to hit the numbers that's worthwhile for them to do. For them to help us out.
So you're always learning. There's no such thing as you don't know this job inside out now, because it's
I
always
know probably
changing.
5% of what I'm meant to know, but I'll wing the rest of it. What do I know? I know how to make myself money. I don't know how to make a business run like smooth and and at that point, when it is working, it's too much for me to do. I'll employ someone that is better at it than I am. That's the plan. Keep doing that. Keep employing more people that are better than you. Because as I say, I know 5% of what I'm meant to be doing. So I'll bring someone in. Someone will come in and say, "Why aren't you doing this?" And I'm saying, "I don't know." And then I'll say, "Why?" And then I'll look into it and I'll try and make it work. And that's how we've got to try and do it. Next stage is as I say, we try hope with the next store we'll have a podcast studio in it.
Blimey.
And in this podcast studio we'll have a podcast running, and then I'll get different people to host every night of the week a different show. So it's their show.
That's interesting.
Under our network.
That's interesting.
And that's the plan. So if you've got I have an ex-boxer. I've got friends who are ex-boxers. They'll host their show and they bring in other ex-boxers. Got an ex-footballer. He'll bring in other ex-footballers to have on his show. And there's someone off Love Island like you saw, and something like that. And then we'll have a different show every night of the week, but something will be out every day under our umbrella. And it goes to a different audience, that means. Because,
You're like, do you know what? You're like a Catherine wheel. You're all going round with sparks coming out. There's so many ideas. That
There's a lot of ideas. You've got to have money to do it, though. That's the problem. You've got to have money to do all these things. And I've got no money to do it. So I just got to keep going and get there one of the way. So it might not even be I might not be able to crack it. But hopefully Casey will be able to crack it. Or, maybe it takes even longer than that. But we're here to... We must be here to produce something that you want to do. You must be here for that reason. We're not just here to do a 9-to-5 job, are we? I don't think so anyway. I think you've got to leave some kind of mark. I think so.